Okay, everyone. So for today's exercise, we're going to do another drawing on the right side of the brain exercise. It's really important that you start this off exactly the way I show you, because if you do anything even a little bit different, it actually messes up the whole experience, which is not good. So I'm going to use a new clean page in my sketchbook. I'm going to use my HB pencil. Hopefully you can see that pretty well. It's an HB. And I'm going to use just an eraser. The big thing today is that we're studying lines and the direction of lines. And to do that, I'm actually going to give you a handout. Now, when you get this handout today, you're going to want to flip it and rotate it so that the drawing makes sense to you. But it's supposed to be upside down. And it is absolutely essential that you keep it the way it's handed to you so that this drawing is upside down. You need it to be an upside down drawing. If you turn it right side up, if you even glance at it up right side up, it's gonna mess you up. It's not gonna work out as well. You need to, in 30 minutes, you need to try to copy as much of this drawing as you can onto your sketchbook. And there's a couple things I want you to know about it. One, we're gonna try to draw it pretty close to the same size we see it here. It might not be exact because that can be hard, but try your best to get it as close as you possibly can. Also, I really want you to focus on just drawing the lines as you see them. So I'm gonna take my eyes, and as I'm looking, let's say my eyes are staring at this oval shape right here. I would draw that oval shape over here, and then my eye would just start to move across my line. So I might go in, I'm gonna get seated here, and as I look and I study this oval shape, I'm gonna try right in the middle of my drawing, I'm gonna try to replicate that oval shape. And I'm gonna do that just with a nice dark line. And then I can bring my line along here, and I'm gonna try to copy the size and the direction of the line that I'm seeing as it gets down here. I might back up. I might do this next line a little bit, and then below it, I'm gonna do this third little line that I see come down and then hooking around. Now I could pick my pencil up if I need to. I can backtrack over here, and I might do the other side of this shape. Now, one thing you're gonna notice that I'm doing is I'm definitely not naming what I'm drawing. And that's really important for the psychology of what your brain is gonna wanna do. Your brain might see something and your brain might think, oh, that is definitely a button on his jacket, or that is definitely part of the guy's head. I don't want you to do that. I want you to work really hard to focus on this as just a collection of shapes, and really today, lines. I'm really just trying to copy the lines and the exact thickness and the exact angles that I see them. So my eye is moving along, and now it's gonna go over here to this shape. So I go down here where I had this little collection of lines. It's gonna come back up a little bit, and now it's gonna curve up and out. And I'm really trying to copy what I see. Now this can get a little tricky. It can be, for some people, it can be hard even. As I go and I try to copy each line, I'm really focusing on the shape. Focus is important. So this is not an exercise where you can have a lot of conversation with other people. This is not an exercise where you can be comparing your work to anybody else. You have got to, again, we've been talking about exercises. You've got to kind of really just lock in and really work on, am I focusing as deeply as I can as my eye is moving along here? Am I really focused, and am I really trying my absolute best to draw the lines exactly as I see them? And I can go back and reiterate some lines. I missed this one. So I can go in, I can just kind of bit by bit try to reconstruct this piece of art that I see. Now, this piece of art was done by a famous artist. His name is Pablo Picasso. But again, I'm not having you worry too much about what you're drawing. Try to empty your brain That might be easier for some of us than others. I'm pretty good at emptying my brain. It's a real skill, guys. It's a real skill. I've worked hard at it. So I can empty my brain pretty well. And again, I'm not focused on the what of what's being drawn, but rather just the shapes and the lines. I'm kind of working on this area, and I'm working on all these different lines that are moving on my page. So really take the time. Now you can from time to time, you could do size relationships. I could maybe measure how long this feature was. Okay, is it similar? How did that compare to this feature over here? Is that similar on my paper? And maybe the answer is yes, maybe the answer is no. But I'm going in and I'm trying to get every single line. And again, you have to avoid the temptation to worry about what it is you're drawing or what the final drawing is supposed to look like. What's more important is, are you going in and are you accurately copying every single line as it exists here? Oops, and I can go back and I can erase a little bit because I see there's a little fracture to the line right there, and I wanna copy that just so. And man, I'm gonna have a pretty complex drawing when it's all said and done. And I can already see some things that are a little bit different in mine, so I'm gonna try to get it back on track and fix it up a little bit. But again, this is an exercise, and the whole point of the exercise is to really let your brain and your mind think about this set of lines so that you can get really good at drawing. Now, sometimes your lines might go from thick to thin. Great, let them. You can thicken some of your lines up a little bit. But you're gonna go in and you're just gonna go and try to copy this drawing as closely as you possibly can. Name nothing. Silence distraction. And I'm gonna be looking at this on Monday when I'm back. This is a 30-minute time drawing. The teacher, whether it's me or if we have a guest teacher, will guide you through exactly how much time you have, and we'll set a timer. You need to work the entire 30 minutes. You might not be able to get it finished in 30 minutes. And if you can't get it finished in 30 minutes, what I'm looking for is, were you able to get it, or basically how much progress did you make? So this should be a pretty quiet experience for you as you go in and try to replicate this drawing to the very best of your ability. And just remember, under no circumstances are we looking at the paper, this paper, until 30 minutes is up. When the 30-minute timer is done, you'll be able to set your pencil down, then we'll turn it upside down and we'll be able to kind of compare our drawings. But that only happens at the end. Do not do it beforehand. Now you're gonna see my drawing is ending up bigger than this source a little bit. So that's, as long as it's just a little bit, that's okay. If you can get it really close to exact, that is better. But I mean, obviously I'm sitting here trying and it's not exactly perfect, and that's all right. So try your best to make it match. If it's slightly off, that's okay. If it's way off, then we're talking about some issues that we'll have to figure out how to fix, because that is not ideal if it's way, way off. So yeah, I'm doing bit by bit, and I wanna see what you're able to accomplish for your 30-minute line drawing. So lines only, do your best. I can't wait to see what you come up with.